on stage 16, which starts in the hot flatlands near Toulouse, but soon leads into the Pyrenees and 3 major climbs, the last along a dead-end road up a mountain called Luz Ardiden. Tuesday morning, Greg LeMond knows that what's ahead of him is the fiercest terrain of the Tour, but with that, his best chance to make up time. His wife, Kathy, and a whole Le Monde entourage will drive ahead and watch the finish on television from atop the last mountain, Luz Ardiden. Eric Breukink of Holland has ridden best Tour ever, but he has relied primarily on his time trial results, and today he faces the mountains instead. Pedro Delgado, a strong rider in the mountains, has his sights set on Breukink. He starts the day in 4th. And Claudio Chiapucci, the discovery of the Tour. LeMond called him Cappuccino at first, but he's got it right now. Chiapucci's mother, spending 2 days with the Tour, talks with his ex-teammate, Stephen Roche. The first 3/4 of the stage crosses the broad plains of southern France. Then with stunning abruptness, the flat roads are left behind and the climbs begin. First, Col d'Aspin, then the mighty Col de Tourmalet, finally an unrelenting uphill finish at Luz Ardiden. All told, more than 9,000 vertical feet.
On a day when Claudio Chiapucci was expected to surrender gracefully, instead, inspired by the yellow jersey, he attacks on the day's first climb, the Col d'Aspin. And by the Col de Tourmalet, after the village of La Mongie with 2.5 miles to climb, Greg LeMond was still trying to limit the gains of a race leader who had found an inspiration never anticipated. But after a chase that lasted over 2 mountains and 40 miles, Chiapucci is caught in Lutz-Saint-Sauveur, the bottom of the final climb.
Luz Ardiden, a continuous climb from the valley along a road laid out back in 1910, lined with tens of thousands of avid fans.
On the 9 miles climb towards the finish, Chiapucci continues to force the pace, and Greg LeMond to follow it. The Italian, against all expectations, still holds all of his 2 minutes, 24 seconds lead over the American. Further back, Raul Alcala helps Eric Breukink, left over a minute behind after 2 bicycle changes on the Col d'Aspin. His second place overall seriously threatened now, as with 5 miles to go, it's the Colombian Fabio Parra who makes a move. LeMond follows it. It's a move he's been hoping for.
Go, 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 Greg, go! Go!
Ahead of a thinning group, LeMond is concerned about only one man now. Where is Chiapucci?
Go, go, go! Oh, where is he? He's getting dropped!
Indeed he was. The brave Italian in the lead for most of the day had taken the race to LeMond, and now he was paying the price. LeMond had snapped the elastic and at the same time placed Pedro Delgado in trouble as well. Chiapucci was now a survivor, fighting to limit his losses, the water unwelcome, because a wet jersey becomes a heavy one and a handicap. LeMond from the defensive all day to a strong attack that for the first time this Tour shows him at his very best. While LeMond continues towards the summit, Chiapucci finds an ally in Nelson Rodriguez. His legs are not responding anymore. Marino Lajareta, riding among the Basque flags of his home region, his many friends on the mountain, but few now in the race. He also falls away from LeMond's attack. Towards the summit, LeMond searches for every second. He catches Martinez Torres, the leader, all the way up the mountain, but now back behind the pace.
Great! Look at him, is he smiling? No, I don't know. Oh, he's so good! Look at him, so fast!
Greg LeMond, tagged by Miguel Indurain, continues his relentless progress. He needs every second gain over Chiapucci, and he knows it. The gap, 1 minute 22 seconds now between LeMond and Pedro Delgado. Chiapucci is even further back, but with time still in hand, he will try to keep his overall lead. Throughout the climb, Greg LeMond has had one ambition: to put Claudio Chiapucci as far behind him as possible. He has made all of the running, and now the finish comes closer. Indurain takes the lead. The Spaniard's intention now to win the $9,000 first prize. Greg LeMond's intention to finish as far ahead as Claudio Chiapucci as possible.
Miguel Indurain, who celebrated his 26th birthday yesterday, roars ahead to take the stage. Uncharacteristically, he has left his teammate Delgado on the mountain below to fend for himself. 6 seconds later, Greg LeMond. And now the clock starts. Chiapucci nears the summit, but how far back is he? LeMond did stage 5 11 days ago, was in 23rd place, almost 11 minutes out of the lead. 6 times since then, he has finished the day closer to the lead, sometimes nibbling at it, sometimes ripping off a big chunk. Make no mistake, this is a big chunk. LeMond asks about Delgado. He may fear him more than Chiapucci, but today Delgado lacks the flash that made him the Tour winner in '88. He struggles home in '8. Chiapucci on the final climb after almost 7 hours of riding. Thrust into the limelight as leader of the Tour 4 stages ago, the Italian has responded with performances that have surpassed anything he's ever done before. Like today, he crosses the line to preserve his lead over LeMond by a scant 5 seconds after a day in which he knew he was in trouble, but in which he rode with both his head and his legs up a mountain which called for plenty of both. Before Indurain pulled away from him at the finish, LeMond might have imagined he would take both the stage and the yellow jersey, and then after days of patient pursuit, he'd have the whole thing in one thrust. That has not happened. LeMond is second to Indurain in the stage, La Haretta third, and second to Chiapucci overall, while Breukink drops from second to fourth. Nevertheless, LeMond is the day's big winner, and he knows it.
Not over to Champs-Élysées, but if I'm going to win, it's one today, no doubt.
Eric Breukink's worst day on the Tour. He fell from second to fourth, went from 2 minutes back to almost